Boom. Welcome, everyone. It's Zubin. It's the middle of the week, like Tuesday or something, work week. So I guess people work. I'm radically underemployed these days. So sometimes in the middle of the day, I'm just like, I'm going to go live because I want to talk about what's going on with me. It's always about me, but sometimes people may or may not benefit, but that's irrelevant. I can't lie anymore. It's really becomes almost impossible unless, someone recently told me, you have this big YouTube platform, like you're using it totally wrong. You're talking about stuff nobody cares about. You're saying, you don't exist as a person, all this other stuff. And you could use it to grift like everybody else does. And I look at the whole spiritual circus, and I look at like the political circus, and I look at the medical circus, and that's exactly what everyone's doing, even when they don't think that's what they're doing. But it's okay. It's totally innocent. And sometimes it's not, but I just don't have interest in that. Maybe that interest will come back and you'll see me like pitching athletic greens like that fucking douche canoe Huberman. This is the other thing. There's going to be a lot of cursing because, like I said in the last live show, fucks are given and then they're released. And it's inevitable they get released. So I don't give a fuck. I will name names because who gives a shit? Anyways, let's just talk. I see your comments there, Ashley McMercier. Abundantly underemployed is on my bucket list, says beat down burnout. Yeah, it was never on my bucket list. And then it happens because you can't. So what happened here is, I don't know. I chased this future for so long, and I had to constantly achieve to keep the demons at bay. And then when you finally let the demons catch up, you realize they weren't demons. And that was part of what I wanted to say in this video is like, your unconscious, whatever that is, there's no unconscious either. Because what the fuck is that? That's a story, right? But look at look at the grifting. YouTube says now would be a good time to insert ads. Creators earn more money inserting ads the more viewers are watching. Give it a try. Fuck you, YouTube. Not that I couldn't use some cash, but I don't care. At this point, it doesn't matter. Just put me on the street. My kids will manage. They're smarter than I am. There's no unconscious. And yet there's stuff that isn't arising right now. And then it arises. Then it becomes conscious. So you could say the unconscious is potentiality. And maybe what arises is due to conditioning. But even that's a story because conditioning occurs in time. So it's a little mysterious. But that said, dreams are funny. So the other night I woke up after having a difficult, you could call it a difficult dream because it was uncomfortable for this body. It was like, it was very strange. It's hard to describe exactly, but for some reason, my wife, and we're, a pretty good partnership going through all this stuff. She was pointing out some deep, shameful hypocrisy of mine that had nothing to do with her. It was something that somehow either I had fabricated or it was a proxy stand-in for my own deep, like what's here, this movement of energy that says you're broken, like you're never good enough, that sort of thing, that unworthiness, shame energy. And, but it felt so real in the dream. It's like, no, I did this thing that's inexcusable. That's how it felt. And so my wife was like, yeah, you did this thing that's inexcusable. And then she was looking at me for some reason in the dream. She was looking at my face and like looking at little eyebrow hairs. And she said, and by the way, this is like absolutely the opposite of my wife, right? And she was looking at this and she was like, see, even your eyebrows are ugly. Like everything about you is ugly. Like that was this dream. And the thing about the dream is like, when I talk about it, it is like, what is that? But the way it was felt was, oh my God, she sees I'm a total piece of shit, which I've always known, but was able to hide even from myself. So this is what I mean by this unconscious, like this sort of potentiality now is like, oh, the operating system acts up and it's like, dude, you're never enough and everything you do is chasing this thing. So we're talking about being underemployed. It's like, all my life has been a chase for validation, for acceptance, for success that makes me feel like I'm worth being alive, knowing everyone else has it figured out and I don't. I'm the one that doesn't have it figured out. So this dream was just like, it was like the unconscious going, Zubin, you need to actually look at this sense again. And I talked about in a recent video that coming up recently as well. So I woke up, I was like, like the whole body felt like it had been stabbed, you know? And now it's funny. So first of all, I don't think this ever would have come up in the past, because in the remote past, what would have happened is that selfing energy, that sort of egoic energy, would have defended itself against that and been like, oh shit, I just had a bad dream that was like, has nothing to do with reality because I'm totally good. And, you know, my wife would never say those things about me or think those things about me. And now it's like, oh, look at this deep belief that I'm broken showing up in dreams. I need to look there because it's showing itself to me, because I know from previous experience that that is the residual energy of the one that thinks it's separate as a self and a me that owns experience and can never be enough. And it influences everything in terms of behavior, perception, feelings, and dreams even. And so I got up like 2:30, 3 in the morning, and I went to my little chair downstairs in my little room where sometimes I do live shows. I may do another one this week from that, just if I feel like it. I'm sitting in my little red chair that I've had since like 2000. And I'm just going into this sense, it's in the body really, of like total unworthiness, like brokenness, shame. And the dream had set up the parameters where energetically I was in that place. But there was also a seeing, there was also a total neutral okayness with the whole thing. Like, okay, this is what's arising. And feeling it all and just crying and going through tissues and blowing my nose, and, you know, no one's awake, so I can fucking go crazy. And just really feeling through that knot of unworthiness again and again and again. And it's not like you solve anything. You're not there to solve anything. You're there to feel what you wouldn't feel. That invisible operating system that's been driving all the fucking shit. All of it. Like all the fucking shit. And it's fucking hilarious. Like, this is the thing. I've seen a lot of ways people express about this. Every single person has their own flavor. Maybe. I don't know that any persons exist. That said, my feeling is there are a lot of people that boo-hoo and are very dramatic about it. And look, I can't even mince words. That shit makes me want to fucking puke. My wiring. I'm just like, I don't give a shit. This is not boo-hoo. This is like fucking hilarious to Zubin. So Zubin's energy is like the gesture energy. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's miserable. Yeah, I'm crying. Yeah, I'm full of sorrow. Yeah, all that. But if I'm expressing about it, it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. And I don't think that's denial. I think that's just it's just the fucking truth. It's like that we have this delusion that we're separate and unworthy and broken. And that drives so much of the drama in this illusion, so much of the drama in the dream. And yet the thing is, it feels totally real. It feels absolutely like everything. And so people will express like it's everything, like it's and the tears and all that. And that's all fine. But I'm not playing that game anymore. There's the drama, and then there's the unspeakable. And they're the same thing. I mean, they're literally the same thing. So I'm sitting in the chair. I'm going through this hell for like an hour, 2 hours of just feeling all this unworthiness and sorrow and grief. And oh my God, what happened? I used to do all these things. And it's so funny, like, because the mind is just like, yeah, of course you can't even like, you know, you don't want to make videos anymore. You don't want to do music parodies. You don't want to talk about health 3.0. You don't want to fucking like, you don't want to work in government. You don't want to work in industry. You don't want to work in that way. So you're lazy on top of it. You're only 52. What the fuck are you doing? Are you retired? Like what? Like all this fucking shit. And I'm feeling it. And as it goes through, it just suddenly there's just laughter. It's like, my God. Like all this shit's sitting under the surface, guiding behavior when you don't see it. And when you see it, yeah, it's fucking what it is, which is hilarious. It's so funny to me. I know it doesn't feel funny. It's funny to me right now. It's like, fucking A, man. This clown doesn't even exist as he's believed to exist by himself. And all this unworthiness and worthiness and all this game we play, it's just a drama. It's a drama playing out, like Shakespeare said. Just all the world is but a stage. And it's fucking a comedy. It's a comedy and a drama and a tragedy and a romance, and all of it arises. It's all beautiful. All those textures of life. You can't, I just no longer can reject them either. Sometimes I'm just, it's just so fucking beautiful. It's so beautiful. All of it. All of it. The love and the hate, the dance, the ambition, the capitulation, the surrender. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's funny too, yeah. And part of the fun of doing these videos is reading the comments afterwards and the comments during, because they're all projection. And in a sense, they're projection of my own unconscious. It's so funny. I read them. Sometimes I like them. Sometimes, as the creator, just because I feel like it. But whether I love a comment or whether I don't, doesn't matter. It's all a projection, because none of this is what we think. It's a beautiful dance. Autumn Way says, I'm 48, got laid off 4 years ago. Basically, I'm semi-retired. I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm not waiting till I'm 67 to spend my retirement. So that's a beautiful, practical decision, right? Like you said, this is what I'm doing. You were forcibly laid off, and then it's like, well, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to play that game. Beautiful. You made it. That choice apparently arose. Yeah. Here it was more like everything was actually going well. I laid myself off, like, getting all these offers to speak and to do all this shit and make all this money, and been doing that for years, and it felt like me, and then it didn't. Whatever me is, didn't feel right. It was like, no, this isn't right. So when, my friend was like, you should just become a grifter and just make a ton of money. It's like, but why? Like, if I were starving, that may just arise to do. You could go be a fucking Dave Rubin or a fucking whoever the fuck does these videos. Jordan Peterson fucking makes so much money. God, he used to be good, didn't he? Now it's just like, what the fuck happened? YouTube happened. Social media addiction happened. Benzo addiction happened. Fucking being up in your own fucking ego structure. Believing anything happened. Believing anything is true. And then fighting for it. That's what happened to Jordan Peterson. That's what happens to everyone, honestly. I don't know that I can believe anything, even what I just said. You always have company, Jojo. Hey, Pip, yes, the whole massive complex identity structure is programmed. When you see through some aspect of it, the most common reaction in my counseling practice is laughter. Beautifully said. It's funny, sometimes, I've talked to a lot of, what is beautiful about my position as a YouTube person that people know is I have access to people, and I've gotten to know a lot of people over the years that are in the awakening realm, whatever the fuck that means. And these are beautiful humans, right? Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Anyone who opens their mouth about this is fucking full of shit, including all these people. But one-on-one talking to them is it's usually a joy. It really is. And just today I spoke to someone, and I won't name names, but it's like, in this case, because I'll only name names when they're negative. I won't say positive things about people. So this person has been on my show, and just when I talk to them, I'm grinning the whole time, even when we're talking about really difficult shit. It's like I have this huge, because it's the grin of hearing and connecting with someone energetically in the space of this truth that's not speakable. And here we are speaking. And so sometimes when I talk to these people and they point something out, or there's some insight, I just can't stop laughing. Like, I cannot stop laughing, because it is, and it's not funny, haha. It's funny like, oh my God, the cosmic joke funny. Like, how how have we not seen this? Or isn't it funny that all humans do this and yet the truth is this? It's the fucking funniest thing in the world, right? And you see through the identities, Dennis, it's like just like so funny. And you know, I understand the drama. I understand the element of drama. There are a lot of people online that express from a place of great drama, like this is a dying and this is a great, you know, grief and a letting go. I've been through all that, and it continues to arise. But I don't see a shit ton of people, and I know they exist, that express like, this is fucking hilarious, you guys. Like, you know, there's people on there that are like, oh my God, this is dissociation and this is fucking hell. And yeah, all that can happen. It's so fucking funny. It's the funniest thing in the world to me. John Pienta, what the world needs to realize really, really fast is that beliefs are a thought that occurs in the mind and a feeling that occurs in the body that are associated with each other. That's a good painting of it. It's very much a mix of sensations. It's a mix of phenomena, belief. I don't know what they are. It's like some of it's imagery, some of it's thought, some of it's sense in the body, like you said, energetic, some of it's unseen. So you don't know why you're operating. Like this belief that Zubin has that he's fundamentally broken and unworthy, and it shows up in his dreams, it shows up in his actions, it shows up in how he relates to people. Oh, it's funny. I just had a huge like pang of a kind of sadness that arises in the body when that's seen. So there can be laughter, there can also be sadness. It's like, oh, because I knew in that moment, this is how most humans are. We're all operating from this delusion. And so you know, at some point it becomes impossible to look away. You know, you're just looking right at this thing. Now I forget even what I was talking about that led me to that. Oh, the belief. So that operating structure is a belief. It's a root, intertwined belief. It's embodied in the body. You feel it. It's that primal. It may be even baked into the human operating system, whatever that is. I mean, this is all story. I'm just moving my mouth for fun now. But yeah. Stapes says, did the Buddha laugh? I thought he only smiled with no teeth. Who knows what the Buddha does? No one has a picture of him. It's all an oral tradition. We're making this shit up. Fuck the Buddha. Fuck him in his ass. Who cares? Seriously. Who cares what any other apparent being experiences? Like this is the thing. I can't talk anymore about teachers and spiritual teachers and gurus and all that because it makes me giggle. Like, and also be like, there's a little disgust response. It's like, fuck. And here I am talking about it because who gives a shit? I'm a hypocrite too. That's Zubin. Yeah, they're all full of shit, meaning they have nothing to do with you. They are you. It's so paradoxical. They have nothing to do with you. What they're saying is their own shit, their own projection, their own, actually, honestly, between you, me, and the wall, they're repeating shit they've heard in all whatever traditions, whatever teachers they had. They're repeating it. Because I know, because I've done this, repeating it for you. And part of it is an unconscious desire to look like they fucking know what they're doing to themselves even. I think that's a big movement of this. And some of it comes from pure compassion. For me, I don't even know what fucking compassion is. I just like to talk. Zubin likes to talk. That's it. And I find that it feels good for me. Especially in the moment. Afterwards, I'm like, why the fuck did I make that video? But like right now, I'm like, this feels great. Maybe not for you. So yeah, fuck the Buddha in his ass. That's another way of saying if you see the Buddha on the road, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill the Buddha. That's an old Buddhist thing. Even the Buddhists were like, fuck the Buddha in his ass. That's what they would say now. Slay the Buddha. That's so old fashioned. Ooh, if thy sees the Buddha, slay him. No, fucking bend him over and fuck him in his ass. It's just as sacrilege. I mean, I guess that's kind of heteronormative. It's not sacrilegious, but it's, you know, you're not supposed to do that to spiritual arahants, especially the one and only Buddha, which wasn't the one and only Buddha because there's only Buddha nature, whatever Buddha nature is, and that's all a story that the Buddhists tell. Pipananda, sometimes facing these things is deeply terrifying until you see where the fear is coming from. Then it's seen for what it is and it becomes irrelevant, even ridiculous to the present moment. That's beautifully said. Yeah, that's about perfect. That's how that feels. Yeah, the unworthiness thing for me. Vicky, Doc Vicky, we're funny, we're human, but the illusion may be a blessing in many cases, most. Yeah, it's a absolute blessing. Look at this. Like, look, I can have a terrible day. Sometimes there's days where I'm like, I'd rather not be here, right? I mean, who hasn't had those days? It's not like I'm actively suicidal or anything. It's just, yeah, and I'd rather not be here. I'd rather not experience this. There's a preference that arises. Don't like this. That's natural human operating system. And then there's other days when I'm like, this is great. And most days it's like, even in the worst day now, there's this kind of, this is all a fucking miracle. This is a blessing. This is great. Even when it's terrible, it's deliciously awful. It's like part of the texture of it. Void says, I was here. That's concerning. I like it. Hi, Ashley. Stape says, I feel like you're talking non-duality into a dualistic mind and it can't handle it. Are you talking about your mind? So here's the fucking thing. You can't talk non-duality. You can only express. The stuff arises. Sometimes it's coming from a kind of a vibe that is experienced. And so it has a certain flavor, a certain valence to the words. But the words themselves are, of course, they're dualistic. All language is subject, object. That's a sentence. Something did something to something, or something is something. Subject, verb, object. That's most sentences. So language by itself is dualistic. The mind that appreciates language and understands it is a dualistic mind. There's this and that. There's not both. It's not both and, it's this or that. Or it's both, but in a very concrete way, and there's an opposite. That's why worthiness comes with unworthiness. It's the dualism. But there's something there that, because you're listening and you're commenting, so there's something there that's like, And that's this life. I don't know what it is. This. Oh, cool. People are reading Pipananda's book. Pip, I don't know if you can leave a link in here, but yeah, it'd be cool for people to check out your book. Just tell us what it's called again. It's like something about magic, right? I have it, and I can't read anything these days except for Murakami Japanese fiction, magical realism. But I will get to it. But knowing how you express here, it's going to be awesome. Shaylee says, how did you first directly experience non-duality? Was it from the experience with Mirafunk? I don't even know. That question doesn't even make sense because there's no first and there's no non-duality. So it's more that, and I don't mean to sound obtuse here. The reason I reached out, or Mira reached out to me, and the reason I responded was that she expressed from a place of the understanding that was already here. And I was like, oh, let's see what these psychedelics do in that setting. And they did kind of ultimately what I should have expected, which is they just go, whoop, yep, it's just this. But it's the whole life has been, I mean, it's just always the case. The thing is, oh boy, how do you talk about this? Because there's no moment, there's no shift for me. It's impossible to talk about. Let's just say this. If you're looking for a boom explosion of truth all of a sudden, I haven't experienced that. That doesn't mean people haven't. They talk about it all the time. A lot of the spiritual teachers talk about their big moment. For me, that doesn't compute at all. Like I can't even. And at the same time, I can't remember what it was like 10 years ago to be Zubin. I just don't know. I just know that if I look at pictures or see videos of me, all I see is a person suffering. Like a person suffering. That's what I see. But then I also, like, if I watch a music video, I see the cleverness of the Zubin character expressing itself. That's really interesting. Yeah. John says, wild, it's here, everything here, constantly changing, and it can't be any other way. I mean, just, that's it. You just, and the thing is that's where, like, how can you give advice to anyone? Like, you see these sort of spiritual teachers giving advice, and I'm sure they're well-meaning, most of them that aren't grifters. Do this, do that, do this practice, do that practice. I get it. I get it. As humans especially, and people are asking you a direct question like, what do I do about this? How do I get what you have? And you're just like, because I mean, from here, it's like, I don't understand that at all. And I'm not saying that to say even that I'm different from anyone. It's not. It's, where are we trying to go? It's the seeker that seemingly obscures what's already here. So then you say, well, get rid of the seeker. And how do you do that? This shit is a mystery. In a sense, you just have to realize you've done everything you can do. You've gone through the fucking ringer. You've pushed here, you've pushed there. You've gone seen this guru, that guru. You've done this psychedelic. You've gone to this retreat. Even if you haven't, you've thought about it, and that's enough. Just, okay, well, what's here then when I don't do shit? And even that may not be enough. Maybe your epiphenomenal expression of what happens in that apparent body-mind is totally different. Maybe it has to go through all this shit fully ad nauseum for 40 years for it to just go, oh, it's always been this. And not even be sudden. Just realize that it's always been like this. Because I said this in the last video, like, I think, if my memory is serving, this is so ordinary. It's ordinarily perfectly beautiful. It's very ordinary. You would miss it. You'd miss that this is just it. And it's very easy for a mind to miss this because it's trying to make something of nothing. It's trying to make something of the... When I say nothing, it's not nothing the way you think nothing, the mind would think nothing is. It's nothing meaning no thing. It's what it is, exactly what it is. So ordinary. And yet, wow, what it is indescribable, absolute fucking what the fuck. DNT says, number 1, be quiet. Number 2, observe. Let's do that for a second. Okay. It won't make a very interesting video if we keep doing that, although it probably will be more useful than anything I could say. Be quiet is simply don't make anything. Don't try to do anything. Observe is simply you don't have a choice because there's always the phenomena. And even trying to observe makes an observer out of it. So you're making something, so you're not being quiet. So it's kind of like, here's what you would say you do. You go, that's all you can say. But directionally, that's right. Be quiet and observe. Then observe that is there an observer? Is there quiet? Is there anything other than quiet? Curiouser and curiouser. Ashley says the ordinariness, though, is why people miss what it is. They expect grandness and pure bliss, and that's not it. And it's not even close. I mean, those things can arise, but so can any human experience. This is just all of it. It's all of it. Nothing can be excluded. Yeah, it's just this. Stape says the floating cloud meditation is trying to stop that by separating from all thoughts, letting them pass. Yeah, and I understand that. It's so, okay, I'm going to be brutally honest. All those practices are great. They can show up in your life and be the right thing at the right time just simply because they showed up. Here, right now, for me, that kind of shit just fucking sounds like nonsense. It just sounds like total nonsense because there's no separation between thought, sky, awareness. There's no such thing. There's just what's happening. and there's no observing of it, so it's just happening. So a practice like that may be a construction of mind that forms almost a matrix of here's sky, here's thought, there was watching of thought from nowhere, like that's happening. Great, wonderful. That's another experience. That's this same fucking thing of nothing. Totally empty of anything other than the isness that it is what it is. I am what I am. Popeye, the only guru you need listen to. Yeah. So let's see here. Guidosk, something like that. How is motivation older than time? I don't even know what motivation is. And I certainly don't know what time is. I don't know what anything is, because the one that would know that is the same phenomena just appearing to no one. So nobody knows anything because there's nobody and there's no things. Not very helpful, I know. Patrick says, because time does not exist, but motivation is. So this is another way of saying, like, these are all appearances, or they're all apparent, or they're just what they are. Like motivation, maybe this we may interpret as an impulse to do something. And that is. But once we label it motivation, it's kind of like we've turned that into concept. And the concept is never the thing, not even close. The map is never the territory. And in this case, not even close, not even in the same universe. Ashley. Yannick says, people want reassurance. Reassurance is licking honey from a blade. Oh, I like that. Just fucking cut your fucking tongue right off. That's what needs to happen. Not licking the honey. There's no reassurance. There's nothing here for the mind, for the person. There's nothing. Abandon all hope. If you think you will survive this or get anything out of this, you will not, most assuredly. And that's the good fucking news. It's funny, when I say these things, all right, I'm saying them to me because I don't know where the words are coming from. They're coming back and reconditioning whatever this is. That's all a story I just told, but it's kind of a fun story. It feels like that. Because, sometimes I'll look from the camera over to the screen that I can see my reflection. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Who's talking? To who? What is this? Absolute mystery. Ursula says, so everything is fiction. Yes and no. All our conceptual stories about this appearance is fiction. It's all a story. But this, the appearance itself, has no substance. You can't pin it down. It's totally impermanent, but it is. It is. It's exactly what it is. That's undeniable. It is. That's part of this realization. It's like, this just is. Including the conceptual overlay, like that's a camera. That can relax and you could just exactly what it is. And then the concept can arise and you could see the concept. The concept is seen as just exactly what it is. So yeah, it's all a fiction, and also it is. Just is. So you can take life as seriously or unseriously as you want, as sincerely or unsincerely as you want. And you don't want. It's like, it's going to show up how it is because you really aren't doing this. This is doing you. It is doing you. Not like you're going to fuck the Buddha in the ass, like I said earlier, but like it is doing you, meaning you are the creation within this, the appearance of you, the youing. Weren't those the protagonists in the old soap opera Dallas? The Ewings? Bobby Ewing? J.R. Ewing? Who shot J.R.? Oh my God, I'm old. DNT says, peace and silence is so disappointing to the expecting, wanting mind. You know what's even more disappointing to the expecting, wanting mind, you're right, is everything. So even this, like this is this as peace and silence and perfection. And the mind is like, nope, not enough. Don't like it. Want something else or want more of it. Is a verb, not a noun. Yes, it is a verb. Is, to is. That is this. Verb. Did I call it a noun? You know, I didn't watch enough Schoolhouse Rock. A noun is a person, place, or thing. I took a ride to the Statue of Liberty. Billy Idol, Dancing with Myself. That's right. Is. Let's see. Everything is a fiction, says Wendy. Ian with nothing says, Grady, crazy coincidence because my lip just cracked and started bleeding. There we go, man. Science. Yeah. Hi, Ethan. All right. I'm going to sit for a second and let your comments kind of catch up, and then we'll respond. This is a funny thing. You close your eyes and then you open your eyes and you close your eyes and you open your eyes. There's no difference. It's just that. But sometimes closing eyes is just, there's a sense in the body of release or relaxation. And it seems like the body sensations become more prominent. Then when you open, the visual field is just floods in, whatever that is. And that becomes the main game. And what's fun is when they mix. So you have body sense, sound, visual field, touch, sensation, all interwoven. They're not separable. Woo! Yeah, it lights up energetically. These are words, but I'm trying to describe something that can't be described. Dan says, I said it earlier, but in my opinion, gurus, therapists, and other people trying to help people need to learn to give tools, not advice or answers. Yeah, Dan, I'll be honest, I don't know what the answer is for how to be a guru. I feel like it's transmission in some way. Like when there's expression and embodiment from that space, that's it. But I could be wrong about that, and I'll probably change my mind in 5 minutes because I have no idea. This is all a story, so it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Advice doesn't, sometimes, yeah, it's just very dicey because advice implies that you know something and that you can do something. And I don't find that in experience anymore. Yeah, Wendy, have a cookie. Everything will be right as rain, Neo. Evan says, have you explored the words gratitude and appreciation and our relationship with them? No. I was trying to feel into that. No, I don't know what that means. Yeah, maybe I need to look there. Don't know. Gratitude has changed a lot. I don't know what it means anymore. Like I can use it. I can feel it as a movement. Like I'm grateful for this, or I'm glad that guy did this, or I'm really happy and have a lot of gratitude towards basically everything that's happened. But I don't know. It's almost baked into the cake at this point. Like, I can't make it anything extra. It's just part of, I mean, I can't make it a separate, yeah, see, I can't even express about it. Beautiful to be thinking about, I think. Do you try to meditate away from thoughts for long periods of time? It's been helping me, but I find it hard, Stapes. So, I mean, yeah, I went through the period where like, I was at war with my thoughts, or I was trying to observe my thoughts all the time, or I was trying to de-identify from thought. And, you know, maybe that's helpful. I don't know, because I can't say anything's causative. In retrospect, it all seems like a blur. So yeah, do that until that gets fucking exhausting, and the seeking energy that's trying to do that, because you're going to war with what is. And what is our thoughts? And what goes to war with what is but thoughts, more ego. And so it's kind of like, well, it's a circuitous loop. Maybe it's useful in that it tires out that mechanism, and the mechanism sees that it can't be done for any extended period. Thoughts will always come back. And that thoughts were never a problem, ultimately. It's like, dude, so what? That's like saying the image of this monitor is a problem, or that's a problem. It's not a problem, but that the mind makes it so, to abuse Shakespeare. Sphere Jester says, there's nothing to say, yet humans love to say things, and so here we are. That's probably the best. That's the best Jester energy, is like, so fucking here we are. Let's talk about this shit. Pull the rug out and spare no fucking punches. Like you look at the spiritual industrial complex right now, all they do is talk about something you can't talk about, and they talk about it in a way that it's basically glorified self-help for the ego to keep it going. It's the final trap, the final delusion. You got ass clowns like Jay Shetty out there making billions, fucking telling you, I'll teach you how to be a fucking spiritual coach, and all you have to do is spend $10,000 of your non-existent money, and we'll support you. And the guy's such a fucking grifter. And the thing is, with guys like that, I'm sure they know it. There are some people that do this and they don't know what they're doing because it's unconscious. I know, because I've been through this. Like, I speak from experience, people. You try to be helpful. You think you're doing the right thing, and all you're doing is miring yourself and others in delusion. I know this. God. Oh. Now, I said before I couldn't remember what it was like to be me from 10 years ago. I can remember what it was like to be me from 3 years ago. And it's like, ooh, that was fucking hard. Because you want this so bad. You want to be awake. You want to be liberated. You want to be free of suffering. You want to fucking be non-dual and all that shit. And people online are promising you that that's possible. And so you're emulating what other people are saying. You're making yourself believe it. You're meditating for hours. You're doing all the things. And maybe all that's necessary. Probably. I don't know. Fucking for me, it showed up. So I don't know what necessary means. But it's all a fucking act. We're just deluding ourselves. It's all a fucking act. Let it go. Let it go, and here it is. No one knows anything you don't know, because no one knows anything. There's just this. There's people who give this message online, and they'll say, oh, nobody has this but a very few. Until you've had this or that fall away, everything you say doesn't make sense. And they turn it into another fucking object. And they're it sounds to me like they're just self-deluded. Because that's not how this is. Maybe they're just talking to talk to get fucking people to pay them as subscribers or do one-on-one sessions or any of this bullshit. But to me, it just feels like fucking story. And it's totally taboo to speak in this way. You know why? I'll tell you why. Shh, come here. These motherfuckers make a living doing this, and it's fine. You can make a living doing whatever you want. But if you're on YouTube and you're talking about non-duality or spirituality and you're selling shit, even if you don't think you are, that's what you're doing. There are a few exceptions. But the code of silence is that it's reciprocity. So if I, as a creator, come out here and start talking shit about these people, that means that they could talk shit about me, which means I won't be able to get my one-on-one money and my Patreon money and my fucking subscriber money, and no one will watch my videos. So it's like a mutually assured destruction. So they don't do it. And this is true of the whole grifter industrial complex on YouTube, unless they can attack someone and make money doing that, in which case they will do that. They'll do the calculation. They'll be like, I can take this person down and elevate myself. So that's how it works. So you'll see no one will name names because, and they'll say, well, it's not very enlightened behavior to talk shit. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? It's impossible to lie in a certain way. Like, you can still tell little white lies, but it's hard. But like, it's impossible to lie. So why, if you're going to do a live video, why wouldn't you say Sadhguru is a fucking piece of shit? Or fucking, I think Rupert Spira is full of fucking nonsense talking about consciousness and fucking aware presence and space. What the fuck is that? Definitely sells retreats. Like, I couldn't give two shits about these people. They don't exist. And I'm not going to hurt them, to be honest. It's punching up. Like, I'm not hurting these people because they know how to sell fucking shit. They do. This is the spiritual industrial complex. It has been going on for millennia. All of them. J. Krishnamurti, U.G. Krishnamurti. U.G. Krishnamurti had a twist. He would say it's all bullshit. All the gurus are full of shit. And yet, he was living in a Swiss chalet and getting all kinds of shit. And it's like, he knew how to play it too. Zubin knows how to play it. If I really went all in, oh man, I'd be a scary guru. It'd be so funny. It'd be the perfect way for the unworthiness operating system to keep the demons at bay, to be a scary fucking good guru. Bald, charismatic, do all that shit. I'm a very good manipulator of people if I want to be, to my great sorrow, actually, because I think I've done this unconsciously for many years. And yeah, now it's like there's a lot of, what's the word? Because it couldn't have been different. So you're kind of grateful even for that. But it's like, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't do it again. The desire sometimes arises and I see it. I'm like, yeah, that's manipulation, because you want to make yourself feel okay by controlling the situation. Yeah. Jude, welcome to the supporter tribe. It's going to be the best $5 a month or whatever you ever spent. You'll get nothing out of it. You'll get this. Thank you. I really appreciate the support because I'm a grifter and I want your money. Ian with nothing says, a teacher is just an old student and a good teacher is one that protects you from their own influence. That's well said. It's very hard to do though, because you have to be kind of beyond your own delusion, which is very difficult, very tricky stuff. Patrick says you'd have to do the accent. Why do you assume I'd be an Indian? It could be any kind of guru, right? I don't have to be Guruji. I could be, what are they in Zen? Well, there's still a kind of G, like for the monasteries. I don't know. I don't know enough about shit. Sensework says, what's your take on Osho? I never experienced him live, but he stands out to me with his talks. Do you think he's fake too? Here's the thing. I have no idea because I wasn't there. I have good friends who were in Osho's community at different times and left at different times. And what they experienced with Osho, aka Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, Rajneesh, I'll call him. And it's funny because when I was growing up, my parents are Zoroastrians, but they had family friends. We had these family friends who were Rajneeshis. This was in the 80s, late 70s and early 80s. And they like, one of them bought a Rolls Royce to copy fucking Rajneesh. And, so crazy ass shit. And when I went to Pune, which is my family's ancestral home there in India, I would see the Rajneeshis walking around because that's where he was in Pune back in the day. And then they came to Oregon and all that bullshit. There's a great documentary, right? Wild, Wild Country or something like that about that shit. So my friend who has a picture of him with Rajneesh kind of working on him energetically said that Rajneesh was just like, you felt, it was like energetic thing. Like it was clear he was highly in tune with whatever this is, but also very much in the manifestation. So he wasn't trying to bypass, that was his whole thing. He didn't bypass into emptiness. He would say, this is it. This is fucking life, sex, fucking, that's why they would fucking have sex and do all this shit that they did. And then you watch what happens with him. So watch any of the documentaries or just see what goes on. It's all ego. It's all fucking narcissistic control, ego, delusion, hierarchy, bureaucracy, structure, cult, fucking cult. And when the cult leader is good, like really good at what they do, God help you. Yeah. So that's my take on Osho. Like, and he was the jester archetype. Like he fucking, that motherfucker did not give a shit. So, I mean, respect from a jester to a jester. But yeah, you know, another human, another manifestation of Maya, the great illusion, showing up, keeping you bonded. Ashley says, some of us are really crazy and subscribe on more than one platform. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah, Ashley's on every single, it's on Facebook, Locals, I think Instagram, YouTube. That's awesome, man. Thanks for the support. I mean, you support the most by just showing up every time and commenting and expressing your experience. Pip, everyone should watch the documentary Kumare. Oh yeah, about the guy pretending to be a guru, Indian accent, beard, robe and all. It's really good. Yeah, definitely. Venus French, I find myself in positions sometimes where others want to place me on a pedestal of wisdom or enlightenment. I constantly say, but what do I know? I don't know anything. So this is the great trap. I saw this happening on my last video. There were a couple comments that were like, you've become the wise sage of like whatever. And I understand the energy that's coming because there's something that resonated with them in the message that resonated beyond their person. And they're trying to put it through the structure of language and say, okay, and it seems well-intentioned. It can't be received here at all. Like, it's such a trap. It's such an egoic trap because there's no such thing. Like, I don't know what that means. Wisdom is this. It's this. It can express in all kinds of ways. Life is showing you wisdom all the time. But the person, when they're pedestalized like that, and that's a danger with teachers. In fact, sometimes it's part baked into like the Indian guru thing. You put the teacher on the pedestal and you devote to them. So the devotional energy can be powerful. It's a kind of surrender and you put it on a person, fine. But do you think that person's immune from that shit? Most of them aren't. And YouTube is a great way. You know, you see it in comments. There's this devotional energy in comments sometimes, and then there's the skeptical energy, and then that stuff is kind of, it's great because it shows you all the projection. Everyone's projecting onto you, including you. You know, like if I watch a video back, I'm like, oh, that guy's saying this and that guy, wait, that guy's me. But not really. He's a projection because it's not happening right now. You know, like right now, I don't know what this is. This is a total fucking mind can't wrap around. To mind, it's total mystery. To life, it's just exactly what it is. Ashley's like everywhere. Bye, Vicky. Go play doctor. Stape says, but what do I want to be free of it? It is dangerous in day-to-day life. Okay, earlier comment. You're really resonating with me now. I can see I haven't tapped into my jester archetype. I've been afraid of it. But I also do want to be free of it. It's dangerous in day-to-day life. It can be. I've fucked myself throughout my life with my jester energy, and I've created a whole career out of it. So it's like everything in duality is a double-edged sword, but it is what I am. It is, meaning there's nothing that I am. It's what shows up here and has. It's part of the conditioning, it seems. So for me, like I remember I told the story before, I was interviewing for a job at Santa Clara Valley, and for a hospice job that was very coveted, and they gave it to some other ass clown. And years later, I found out it's because, one of the people who interviewed me thought I made too many jokes and I did my dad's accent, who was a physician. And I don't even remember doing this. And they're like, he's just inappropriate. I'm like, that's the fucking jester energy. That's what I am. So you're right. If you don't want that, don't hire me. And I ended up taking a different job, which changed the course of my life entirely. I took it at Stanford. And everything was different. Like, I would still be doing that hospitalist job. I would not be doing this, probably. I can't say. But because I was what I was, and they didn't like that, which is hilarious. It's so funny. The whole thing is so hilarious. But yeah, that gesture energy is... because it's threatening to the status quo, and it's also threatening to the ego. And it can be misused by the jester as a kind of like a blunt weapon. And sometimes I would use it that way to make myself feel safe, Now it's more like, fuck all these hoes. It just shows up. SenseWork says, thank you for your take on Osho. I think things may be more nuanced. You can be a great teacher and bring freedom of mind to people, and at the same time be subject to human temptations. I mean, I think that's all true. That's why the whole thing is like kind of unknowable. It is pure nuance, It's funny. Of all the teachers, Osho seems to get the most people defending him. He's like the most polarizing in that way. And I find that interesting. I mean, it just tells you how powerfully charismatic he was. And, people really like my friend who was in his communities, like, changed my life, So it's kind of like all of it happens, You can't say good or bad. You just go, yeah, notice delusion, notice ego, notice life changed, notice. As we're talking, I'm tying the drawstring on my sweats. Don't worry, I'm not masturbating. I'm tying the draw. Do you remember, it was I have to show my hands now just to prove. There was a Zoom meeting during the pandemic, and some famous business person was in the meeting, and he thought his camera was off, and he started beating off. And all the participants in the meeting were like, and he had to fucking resign or some shit. So funny, man. Masturbation. They should have fucking given him a promotion. It's like, dude, of course. What else is there to do on a Zoom but beat off? He probably had a little porn window in the corner, and everyone's like, wah, 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 over here. He's certainly not beating off to the little Zoom images because they're so low resolution. It's like, why would I do that when there's 4K Pornhub? Oh my God. Yeah, Jojo, you did the same thing. Nice. John Pienta, Wim Hof is like that too. Yeah. People love Wim. Yeah. And you know what? He's giving you things to do and a way of seeing. Who's to say? Fucking, I don't know. I have no problem. It's just not for me. Jeffrey Toobin. Oh, is that who it was? Oh, Patrick, thanks. Jeffrey Toobin. I don't know who that is, but it sounds familiar. Yeah, good for him, man. Hopefully he got a job at like OnlyFans as their CEO or some shit. Should I start an OnlyFans? No one would fucking join. That's the problem. I was talking to one of these other like online YouTube gurus, and she was like, you and I should start an OnlyFans. And I was like, that would be fucking hilarious. That would be non-dual OnlyFans. It'd be amazing. Sense work. Well, I'm not per se trying to defend Osho. I only know a lot of people close to me that were incredibly enchanted by him and also grew from their experiences in Pune. Yeah, me too. But they were also the first to tell me what a fucking flaming piece of shit he was, like in the next breath. And it didn't change the fact that they had these incredible experiences. Yeah, it's really fascinating. And the stories about Sheila, his like right-hand lieutenant, those are crazy too. I've heard some crazy stories. I mean, it's ego everywhere and hierarchy and cult. You know who used to take a shit on Osho? It was UG Krishnamurti too. Used to fucking Love making fun of him. Oh, Jeffrey Toobin actually got his job back at CNN. Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah, fuck it, dude. He wanted to beat off. Let him beat off. He's just tubining. That's a good little. What are you doing? I'm just tubing. I can't believe that didn't become a thing. Maybe it did. Spotless Wanderer. Hey, just want to know if you feel that this isness is better than what you were at a couple years ago, because you talk about as if this isness wasn't desirable. Would you want people to see this? So that's the thing. It's just what is. So it's beyond desire and undesire. That's why the question becomes unanswerable for me, because look, I could say it this way. I am what I am right now. It couldn't be any other way. It's perfect. I love it. It's great. Even when it's miserable. I couldn't imagine it being otherwise, because it can't be otherwise. This is not a carrot to dangle in front of anyone. If you're suffering like terribly and your mind identified and you think you're your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and your story, well, that's easy, relatively. Awakening 1.0, you realize you're not that energetically. And then comes the really hard part of that, which is everything you think to be true starts to unravel. And then you're left with what is this, and you're not left with it. So you see how it's just like, even the word isness, I don't know what that is. It's just something I'm saying because I don't know what, that can't be expressed. It's just exactly this. I know it's not very satisfying. That's the thing. I can't even try to make it satisfying because I'd be lying. But that's not to say that it's bad. It's something that you wouldn't want. Not at all. Okay, let me dig into this, because what you're saying is fascinating to me. There's a flavor of how I express that says this may not be desirable. That's perfect. It's because the way I'm expressing is the truth, which is not that it's not desirable. It's not undesirable. It's neither of those. It's exactly what it is. So when mind hears about it coming out in this way, from the place of it, it's going to sound boring as fuck. That's exactly what it is to the mind. But it's perfect. It's exactly this. It's reality. How even that, like, word reality doesn't make sense because it's totally unknowable. So how can it be real or not real? It's like beyond any of that. Beyond meaning is nowhere it goes. It's just not that. It can't be anything. You see, it gets really inexpressible. So it's beautiful that you pick up that I'm not sugarcoating this thing, because that's not what it is. But I'm also not telling you it's the opposite. It's beyond those things, prior to those things, not of those things. Patrick says, though, isness is better because I feel the constant joy of inner happiness, not depending on external to make me happy. So yeah, and does that have anything to do with isness? What is isness, right? Now we're just talking. But like, that is how it is. It's like there's nothing that I depend on for happiness. Things arise and it feels like that sometimes, and then they drop away. They can't be held. So there's always like a general okayness with everything. That is you could say that's beautiful, but even if it wasn't beautiful, that'd be okay. That's how okay is. It's so okay that when it's not okay, it's okay. Yeah, it's very strange. And also not. It's just what it is. Sphere Jester says, it's coming from a place where the questions asked don't make sense. Category error. Bingo. That is a good way to say it. The questions themselves don't make sense. So okay, let's talk, we'll use the word enlightenment because it's a terrible word. Let's use it. What is enlightenment? But you ask the question, what is this? What's the meaning? Let's say, what is the meaning of life? Or what, all the questions that you have. What happens when you die? All that. Enlightenment is the end of the questions. It's not getting the answer. It's the end of the question. The end of the question making any sense at all, a total category error, like, nope, step function. That That's like saying, what's the color schmicklasht? That doesn't make sense. I don't know what schmicklasht, there's no color schmicklasht. That's how silly some of these questions start to sound. Now, when you talk to people who are having an existential fear of death, or they're deep in the drama, to tell them that their questions or their concerns make no sense also makes no sense. It does. That's not how the human is. So the human feels and says the things that are appropriate to that situation. So it can look like a kind of hypocrisy or a kind of inconsistency. And yes, it's both from the human standpoint. From reality, or for this, it's like, no, that's just how it is. It's paradox. It's both and none, neither at the same time. Totally out of just total free fall blackout, nothing. What did John Pienta say? Someone said, I like that. Oh, here it is. Yeah. What the Garden of Eden creation myth is about. Eden was not somewhere else. Serpent is not a bouncer. They were not exiled. They saw they were separate from the sky, earth, and each other. Yeah, that's the classic spiritual interpretation of the Garden of Eden mythology, that it was they were naked, suddenly they felt ashamed because they felt separate. They felt self-conscious. And the serpent was simply the sort of image of the realization, knowledge, the tree of knowledge, right? The knowledge of good and evil, the knowledge of right and wrong, the knowledge of duality. But there's no knowledge. In the Garden of Eden, there was no knowledge, no knower. They were not separate. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and there was darkness on the face of the waters and all this. That's fucking amazing shit. Like emptiness. Light, form, not two. God as the flux between them. Beautiful imagery. If you see it that way. If you take it literally, well, that's fine. Good luck. That's good. It's another view. The Smiesko. Yep, been there. There are some stupid questions. I don't know about stupid. They just no longer compute. John says, our ape ancestors without concepts and language birthed human sons and daughters who had language, distinction, discrimination. We can use each other as tools, objects, machines. Yeah, I mean, it's knowledge, the tree of knowledge. Humans seem unique in their suffering, unique because they have this self-reference and this cognitive stuff going on. And it feels quite unique. Of course, we don't know what the animals are experiencing, but it feels like that. Let's see. Sphere Jester says, language is so difficult because duality is baked in. What is just what is, beyond conceptions and beyond conceptions, LOL. And then it just sounds crazy. Thank you. That's exactly it. Yeah. So it just, and if you're fully in dualistic construct in mind, this is going to sound like total abject nonsense until it doesn't. And then you'll just feel into that place, like that will be what's obvious. And you'll be like, yeah, his words are just blah, blah, blah. But I see what kind of blah, blah, blah they are. They're the blah, blah, blah coming from seeing that this is not possible to blah, blah, blah about. So it blah, blahs in this way, blah, blah. It's like that. Maybe. Blah, blah. Purposely purposeless, Travis. There's no knowledge when everything is one. Bishan 25. I might say it this way. There's no knowledge when there's no knower. Then there just is what is. And even calling it one is just language. To me, that's my experience. The Smiesko. It's like trying to imagine, oh my God, I'm going to yawn. Oh, I'm Yanni live at the Acropolis. It wasn't your comment that put me to sleep, Smiesko. I get up very early. The Smiesko says, it's like trying to imagine nothing or divide by zero. The brain will just explode. Which is good. The brain just stops and then it's just this without conception. Dividing by zero. Imagining infinity or no thing. Yeah. Can't happen. Oh my God, suddenly. All right. Well, I think that's my sign. The universe is like, shut the fuck up, Z. There's no universe. There's just this. What universe? It's like there's some fucking thing with a bunch of galaxies in it. That's a fucking story. You can, if you go there, that will seemingly manifest. But like, that's not there right now. This is all that is. That's all that is. All that was. All that shall be. This, what you're experiencing, what I'm experiencing. That's it. That is it. This is it. Just looking at your last few comments. Can't be awake when you're sleepy. Exactly. All right, last one. Spotless Wanderer. Would you say that when suffering arises, the human that is perceived feels the need to cuddle, close your eyes, or rest? Or the human now seems to give shit if there's contraction? Yeah, I kind of am guessing at what you're getting at, which is what happens when suffering arises. Is there a movement? Is there a movement towards something that happens? And I think, yes, the movement is natural. And it's not necessarily to console or to cuddle. It can be. But more often it's to just be there, just to fully open. Like there's a leaning into suffering that's not possible when you're suffering so much yourself that you're afraid, you know? When that relaxes and suffering is seen as kind of exactly what it is, there's just an opening, like an availability in a way for apparent other people and for yourself. So it kind of changes the whole game in a way. It's very difficult to talk about. And I don't know that it's the same for everyone. Like I have friends that are extremely heart open, compassionate, very loving, heart forward kind of expression. And then there's me. And, you know, for me, it's like, I don't know that I have enough conceptual awareness of what I do. I think it's more embodied. But you'd have to ask someone who interacts with me one-on-one, not this way. This is the same and different. Any guru recommendations? Wink, sense work. Fuck them all. That's my guru recommendation. Sylvia, a grand story though, the cosmos. It is beautiful. And the more you look, the more you find, the more manifests. Just always here, always now. All the galaxies, Big Bang, quasars, black holes. Right here, right here. All right, gang. Love you. This was really fun for me. You know, I got to stop talking myself out of doing these things, because what happens is when I'm not doing them, the next thing's happening and it's impossible to imagine what doing one of these is like. Then the tension builds up. It's like this kind of like impulse shows up and it's like, must go live. Then I go live and it's like, and I have to be careful that I'm not seeking something that isn't just a natural impulse. And even that's kind of hard to tease out, because what is that? But it's like, I don't know, it's not really validating, but it feels correct. I enjoy it. I love interacting with you guys. Your comments are fantastic. I like being in this physical space, whatever that is, with you guys, whatever you are. So thank you. We were talking about gratitude earlier. Lots of gratitude arising. Really appreciate it. And appreciate everyone who supports the show and all of that nonsense, I have to say, because I actually mean it, because you guys are sweeties. All right. Until next time, peace the fuck out.